The connection between Song Weilong and Zhao Jinmai has captured the attention of many fans, not because of loud declarations or dramatic moments, but because of something far more subtle and meaningful. There is a quiet warmth in the way they interact, a sense of comfort that feels natural rather than performed. In an industry where emotions are often amplified for the public eye, what makes their dynamic stand out is precisely the opposite. It feels calm, genuine, and grounded in small but consistent actions. Song Weilong has often been perceived as someone who is reserved, someone who does not rely heavily on words to express what he feels. Instead, his way of showing care seems to come through what he does rather than what he says. This becomes especially noticeable in moments shared with Zhao Jinmai. There is a certain attentiveness in his behavior, a quiet awareness of her presence and well-being that does not demand attention from others. It is not exaggerated or theatrical, but rather something that unfolds naturally in the background. When they are together, whether during filming or behind-the-scenes moments, their interactions appear effortless. There is no visible tension, no forced chemistry. Instead, there is ease, something that cannot easily be scripted. Song Weilong often appears to take on a steady, grounding role, while Zhao Jinmai brings a lighter, more vibrant energy into the space. Rather than clashing, these differences seem to complement each other, creating a balance that feels both comfortable and sincere. In situations where the environment becomes overwhelming or tiring, Song Weilong's actions subtly shift. He does not try to draw attention to himself or make grand gestures. Instead, he leans into small, thoughtful acts, ensuring that Zhao Jinmai is at ease, offering quiet support, or simply being present in a way that feels reassuring. These gestures may seem minor at first glance, but they carry a depth that words often fail to reach. There is something deeply meaningful about care that is given without the need for recognition. It suggests intention, sincerity, and emotional awareness. Song Weilong seems to understand when to step in and when to give space, a balance that requires sensitivity and respect. This kind of awareness often speaks louder than any verbal expression of affection. It shows not only that he notices, but that he understands. Zhao Jinmai, known for her bright and lively personality, brings a natural warmth into any setting. Her energy is expressive and open, which makes the quiet steadiness of Song Weilong stand out even more. Rather than overshadowing her, he appears to support her presence, allowing her to shine while maintaining a calm, reassuring dynamic beside her. This creates a sense of mutual respect, where neither tries to dominate the other. Their communication, even in silence, feels significant. A glance, a small smile, or a subtle gesture often seems enough to convey understanding between them. This kind of connection suggests familiarity and comfort, something that grows over time rather than being instantly created. It is this gradual development that makes their chemistry feel authentic. In many ways, what Song Weilong demonstrates aligns with what is often described as a love language rooted in actions. Instead of relying on verbal affirmations, he expresses care through consistency, attentiveness, and presence. These are not fleeting gestures, but patterns of behavior that reflect a deeper sense of consideration. It is in the repetition of these small acts that their meaning becomes clear. What makes this even more compelling is the absence of any need for public validation. There are no exaggerated displays meant to attract attention, no attempts to define or label what is being shown. Instead, everything remains understated, allowing observers to interpret it in their own way. This lack of pressure makes their interactions feel more genuine, as they are not shaped by expectation but by natural response. In a world where expressions of affection are often loud and performative, there is something refreshing about a connection that exists quietly. It reminds people that not all meaningful relationships need to be visible in obvious ways. Sometimes, the strongest forms of care are the ones that happen in the background, unnoticed by many but deeply felt by those involved. The dynamic between Song Weilong and Zhao Jinmai reflects this idea beautifully. It is not defined by grand narratives or dramatic storytelling, but by consistency and subtlety. It shows how attention, when given sincerely, can create a sense of closeness that does not need to be explained. Fans often find themselves drawn to these small, unspoken moments because they feel real. They resemble the kind of interactions that exist in everyday life, where care is shown through presence, patience, and understanding. This relatability is part of what makes their connection so compelling to watch. Ultimately, what stands out is not any single moment, but the pattern that emerges over time. The way Song Weilong consistently shows awareness, the way Zhao Jinmai responds with comfort and ease, and the way both seem to exist in a shared space of mutual respect. All of these elements come together to form something that feels quietly powerful. It serves as a reminder that love does not always need to be declared to be real. Sometimes, it exists in the way someone pays attention, in the way they respond to another person's needs, and in the way they choose to be present. These are the kinds of actions that build trust and create lasting impressions. And perhaps that is what makes this story resonate so deeply. It is not about proving anything to the world, but about the simple, meaningful ways in which one person can show care for another. In those quiet actions, there is a depth that words alone could never fully capture. Because in the end, love is not only something that is spoken, it is something that is shown. So, what do you think? Is this just pure professionalism, or is there something deeper behind these quiet actions? Sometimes, the most genuine feelings are the ones that are never spoken out loud, but shown through consistency, care, and presence. If you felt touched by these moments between Song Weilong and Zhao Jinmai, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who believes in silent love, and subscribe for more stories like this. And tell me in the comments, do you believe actions speak louder than words?